Usually we're digging through articles, data, all sorts of things to piece a story together. But today is different. The entire story has to come from just one single frame. We have one photograph, and that's it. No context, so our mission is to see what it can tell us all on its own.
Okay, let's just jump right in. Here it is, the whole picture. You've got a living primate and a stuffed primate together in this one moment. It's weird, right? It's kind of unsettling, and it is just filled with questions. But the biggest one, the most important one, is right there. What is really going on here?
We've all heard that saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. But is that always true? Sometimes a photograph doesn't really give you a clean story. Instead, it just hands you a puzzle, right? A bunch of clues that could point in all sorts of different directions. And that's where we're starting today. So, to even begin to unpack this, we need to isolate the key elements. Let's start by focusing completely on the living subject. We're going to try to figure out what, if anything, it's communicating with that really hard-to-read expression. Before we break it down, just take a second and look. When you just focus on the monkey's face, what's the first feeling that pops into your head? Is it fear? Maybe anger? Confusion? Let's zoom in and look at the evidence. Let's start with the eyes. See how wide open they are? They're staring almost right at us. Now, that's a pretty classic signal of surprise or alarm in a lot of animals, primates included. It suggests it's on high alert, maybe reacting to something that just happened. But then if we just shift our focus down a little bit to the mouth, and this is where it gets tricky. We see bared teeth. In the animal kingdom, that's often a threat, a clear sign of aggression, a warning to back off. So right away, we have two totally conflicting signals in one face. So what are we left with? It's a complete contradiction. The eyes might be saying, I'm scared, while the teeth are saying, get back. Or could it be something else entirely? In some primates, what looks like a scary face to us can actually be a sign of submission. So the expression itself is a total mystery. All right, let's put a pin in that for a second and move to the second character in this scene. We're going to turn our full attention now to the inanimate object, this very strange stuffed mirror image of our living monkey. Just look at this face. There's no real emotion here. It's all manufactured. The eyes are just glassy, vacant circles. The mouth is stitched into this permanent kind of sort of smile. There's no life, no reaction. And that stillness, it creates this really powerful, almost creepy contrast with the very real emotion we see in the actual monkey. And when you put them side by side like this, the difference just hits you. On one hand, you have this dynamic, living creature with a super complex expression in real fur. And on the other, a completely fixed doll made of matted fabric. It's that clash between the real and the replica, the living and the lifeless, that really makes this image so fascinating. Okay, so we've looked at the two of them in isolation. Now let's zoom in on what might be the most important part of the entire photograph, the exact moment where these two worlds, the living and the inanimate, actually make physical contact. And there it is. A small hand, you can see the delicate fingers, just resting on the matted fabric of the toy's shoulder. This single point of contact, it feels like the narrative center of the whole image. Everything else kind of radiates out from this one simple, quiet gesture. And just like the facial expression, this gesture is totally open to interpretation. So what do you think? What's being communicated with that touch? Is it gentle? Is it forceful? Is this an act of connection? Or maybe one of control? Well, we can imagine a few different scenarios. Number one, this is just pure curiosity. The monkey is exploring a new, weird thing in its world. Simple as that. Number two, maybe it's looking for comfort. Perhaps it sees this lookalike as a friend, a source of security. Or number three, it could be an act of possession, a way of saying, this thing, it's mine. See, the same gesture can tell three completely different stories. So we've taken this image apart piece by piece. Now for this last section, let's step all the way back out and see what happens when we try to put it all back together again. So here it is again, the full picture. But I bet you're not seeing it the same way you did a few minutes ago. Now you're aware of the contradiction between the eyes and the teeth. You see the emptiness in the toy's stare, and you feel that deep ambiguity in that single touch. It reminds me of this perfect quote from the legendary photographer Diane Arbus, and it just perfectly captures what we're experiencing here.
We've looked at every detail. We've gathered all the visual clues. But have we solved the secret? Or have we just uncovered an even deeper one? It really feels like the more we look, the more questions we have. So in the end, I can't give you the one true story of this photograph because, well, one might not even exist. It's a tiny fraction of a second, and everything else, the before, the after, it's gone forever. So now, it's really up to you. After looking at all the evidence, after breaking it all down, what story do you see?